Hello, and welcome to the See Funny maintenance training videos. In this episode of, the training videos, we are going to be showing you how to successfully take off the cosmetics for all of our characters. The first thing you do is to open up settings and change snap to grid movement to 10. And change the letter by tapping it down next to the green button. The letter next to the green button should be a G. If it is not, if it is an L, tap it and it will change to a G. First, we will start with our star himself, See Funny. First, select all the pieces of his head, minus his ears, his nose, and obviously his eyes. It's quite hard to do on a small stage. You can see that because of the letter being G, for some reason, you are now able to go and take the whole thing and just move it in a straight line. I forgot one eyebrow. And with Snap to Grid 10, it moves back to the right area. With just one movement as well. If you've missed any parts, it doesn't matter. Since you are on G mode, you're able to just drag it back and it automatically connects where it should be. The reason you should leave the ears is because the ears are part of the mechanism. You should also take the eyelids and move them back. Move the eyelids back after you're done taking the rest of the head off, because it's easier to access them that way. Next thing you should do is start taking off See Funny's vest and arms. Select all of the pieces to that. And drag it back. Now it is back here with the head, in the exact area it should be when reinstalling it. Next, take off See Funny's trousers and footwear. Select all of it and move it back. You have successfully finished the tape for See Funny. Now if you are working on Barry the Bear, he has a bit of a different procedure. First, take his guitar and move it back by 10. All of the movements are going to be set to 10 for this video. Now, select all the pieces of his trousers. As you can see, the back pieces of his overalls are also gotten by just selecting the front pieces. That is because they are the same piece. Move them back. You are now left with this. Do the same thing you did with See Funny. Select all the pieces of his head and do not forget the tiny little tooth in his mouth. And that should be the last one. Of course, move it all the way back with the rest of the things. If you've missed a piece again, just do the same thing. Move it back with the rest of it. Now select Barry Bear's eyelids and move them back. Barry Bear is much more complicated than See Funny. First, take the pieces of his arms and hands and move them back. Now do your best to get selected every part of his body and move it back. You should be left with this. Now the final thing for you to do is to take his legs and feet and move them back. You are now done with Barry Bear. Moving on to Be Funny. Do the same procedure you did with See Funny, leaving the ears, the nose, and the eyelids. I'm getting out of breath here. Take everything off the character, except what I just said. If at any point during the video or process of taking apart your animatronics, you end up changing the letter to an L and have your character being moved the wrong way, do not worry. Simply move the pieces back to where they should be before changing the letter back to an L and then continuing your procedure. Next, take apart Be Funny's vest and arms. Move them back. Now do the same thing for the trousers. It might be a bit hard to select the feet, but you can do it. We will save Crystal Cat for last. Mike the Monkey, however, is going to be unsuited next. Do the same procedure as all the other characters. You can, however, select the ears. It gets a bit challenging since he is so close to the wall of the stage. But it is possible to select all of the pieces. Once you've selected all the pieces of the head, move it back. Since I missed some pieces, I'm gonna go and take them and also move them back. Next, take his eyelids and move them back as well. I gotta currently select the eyelids. So, select the eyelids and move them back as well. When going back, you should see all of the things that you've taken apart so far. Next, you should take apart the rest of him like you did with See Funny and Be Funny. Select all of the pieces of his vest. Try not to select the curtains, because that means you might have to reset if the game doesn't want to fix it. Do, however, leave the drumsticks where they are. Now, once again, remove the pants of the character. The shoes are quite tricky to get, but you can get them. Leonardo Lion is the exact same as See Funny, because they use the exact same mech. So I am not going to go through Leonardo Lion and taking him apart. All you gotta do is use the same things that you did with See Funny. I am now going to show you how you can unsuit Lolo, or getting confused with the Circus Playhouse here, Crystal Cat. First, do like you did with Barry and take off all of the character's cosmetics. Next, take off the head. Remember to select the ears of the character. Remember to select the back of the head. It's not allowing me to select that one piece. And my internet's going down. I'll get it. There we go. Move it back as well. Select the eyelids and move them back. Do like you did with Barry and select the arms and the hands. Move them back. Select the legs. Move them back. Then finally, select all pieces of the torso and move them back. You have now successfully learned how to take the cosmetics off of each and every character on our stage. Please use this information responsibly. Although the tape is not done yet. If you did not know, I should have told you this at the beginning, you should have an under maintenance sign that you should put in front of the stage before you start working on the characters. And a quick little tutorial on how to close the curtains. Just tap or click the front of the stages. Then you can change transparency to 0. Now if you were to just select See Funny stage, you can just open his curtain. You can just open or close his curtain. Although I'm a bit rusty at the moment. Whatever stage curtain you're selecting, you're able to open and close it. That works for each and every stage. When you are done repairing the animatronics, you can go in back, go above the animatronic. If you are on mobile, you can tap and hold the yellow button until orange text appears. You are then able to go and drag select and select everything on that animatronic. If you are on a computer, you can just click and drag to select all the animatronic pieces. So now that it's still on 10 and you only moved it back by 10, you can just select everything and move it in front by 1. Now if I were to go in front and open See Funny's curtain, See Funny will be just like he was earlier. Now I'm going to open the rest of these curtains and put the rest of the suits on the characters. After you put the suits on the characters, which I will talk about while putting the suits on the characters, after putting the suits on the characters, you should be sure to remember all this information. Keep this tape on hand at all times in case your favorite characters ever get into a bit of mischief and you have to repair them. If you end up selecting an extra piece with drag select, just tap the yellow button and unselect the piece you want to unselect. Now that that is all done, you should be able to open the curtains and put the maintenance sign back in the back. Now that concludes our little escapade with repairing our favorite animatronics here at C Funny's Pizza Circus. We will see you next time when you have other problems with your animatronics or are watching the next tape. Goodbye.